Hey, welcome. Let's not waste time. I'm Rob Brydon. You know that, otherwise you wouldn't have been watching it. And I'm with a funny man, a funny man. He's good, he's fine, he's Tim Vine.
Rob, what a pleasure. You said, let's not waste time. I thought that was the whole idea of this.
Well, we've been sat here while we're getting all the technical stuff right.
Yes.
And we've been starting to talk. And I've been saying, no, wait.
I know. Well, there's so many things to say. We'll forget them now.
We have a relationship of sorts.
We do.
An
occasional, isn't it? An occasional relationship.
Last time was as I remember, it was in my hotel room at a Hilton in London.
It was mine, actually. My hotel room. I think you came and knocked on my door.
I came to your room.
Yes, you did.
How does that affect the status? Does that mean that...
Well, I don't know. I welcomed you in.
But I came to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we'll change that if you're more comfortable with
it. We were both at this hotel because, as is in the comics life, we were doing some corporate event.
Yes.
I was going to be introducing you, and we sat and we had a very nice chat. And it was one of those things where you think, I'd like to see more of Tim and spend more time, because it tends to be just 5 minutes.
And that was the last time.
That was the last time, because it just never happens. And we talked almost exclusively, and let's get it out of the way, about Elvis.
Yes.
Because we both love Elvis. And let me go straight in by saying,
yes,
we're doing this on July the 8th. I don't know when it's going to go out. The Elvis movie, Baz Luhrmann's movie, has been out for about 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it twice. You tweeted one day, I am going to see the Elvis movie. And I thought, what's Tim going to say? As far as I can tell, you haven't
There's
tweeted.
Been a bit of radio silence afterwards.
There has!
Well, but you've revealed, that's very revealing, you said you've seen it twice.
Yeah.
Listen, don't get me wrong, it's a great film. But it maybe suffered, in my eyes, just a bit from being given such a big build-up from people. Maybe a bit. I don't really want to criticize it. It's great. It's a great film. It's great. But there's one or two bits of, you think it didn't quite happen like that, did it? Or that person didn't say that. Someone else said that. But I suppose that's what films are, isn't it?
Well, this is a really interesting conversation, isn't it? See, this radio silence, and I've gone back over your timeline a few times thinking, no, she's still not said anything.
There are some very, very moving moments in it. There's another bit that I thought was very moving and I'm sure this happened because I read about it and stuff, when Priscilla says to Elvis in the back of the car, I think in 1977 or something, look, I've set this place up in San Diego. Yeah. It's ready for you there. Just, you just have to turn up. And and the fact that she also says, I think, don't do it for me, do it for Lisa,
Yeah.
It almost makes me
I thought there was lovely stuff. I thought it was a triumph of creativity, imagination, flourish. I loved the way he recreated the 1950s and the moves, the Vegas moves. Those he must have studied him so
very much
closely.
So. You and I have both done a bit of Elvis impersonating. I mean, these days, who hasn't? But there's a thing that he does in the because Elvis was, he was still very fit when he started doing that.
When he started Vegas,
Vegas, and that thing where he does that thing and sort of doing his hips and then goes down onto almost like one knee. I just can't physically do that. My knee would pop.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Well, of course not. I can, no, and I have tried. We've both done Elvis things. So in my current show, I'm doing tour with the band, La La La. I do Hurt. I do that.
I do it as well.
I do it at the end. Do you have a harmony vocal?
I do have a backing singer, fantastic singer, Josie Quinn Abraham, and she sings that first note we do together.
Yeah, yeah. And she's on top of you or under you?
Oh, I don't
She should
know.
be on top of you, surely.
So, and then I bring the band in. Oh, hurt to think that you lied to me.
But you do a whole show. Now, let's talk about this, because this is there's so much to talk to you about.
Do you do any kind of, do you do Hurt in the original key?
No, I can't.
I do.
Get lost.
I do it in the original key, right? And so I say to the audience, that this is, we're going to do a song called Hurt, and it does. And I talk about the fact that it really is out of my range, but so I make it clear I'm going to attempt something that I think I might not be able to do. But you know that bit at the end where it goes, I do that, I falsetto that. This is a
well,
bit of a
that's
cop-out.
what I call cheating.
It is, yeah. So that is cheating.
So you're not really doing it in the...
Up to everything else, the rest of it I am.
Other than the high bit.
Well, there's other high bits. It's all quite high, isn't it? Well, the first note's quite high.
Ever heard you. And then listen, now what does he say then? What I say is, you don't miss me at all. But you don't think that's what he's saying, do you?
Yeah, I don't think he is.
So what do you say then?
I go, hello, I don't
say anything. You just mumble.
Yeah. Hello, say.
I say, you don't miss me at all.
Right.
Boom. So let's talk about your Elvising. Right. Plastic Elvis.
Yes.
And I've wanted, in all sincerity, I'm sure you realize that, to get to the show. I've not been able to get to the show, but I've watched stuff on YouTube. You've told me there's a almost Andy Kaufman-esque element to your Plastic Elvis because you do it totally straight.
Well, I do absolutely try and do an impression of him as far as possible. The great thing about Elvis, particularly in the 70s, is he's trying to be funny a lot of the time anyway. So there's a spirit of fun
but
between
you
the
do
shows.
it. I mean, it's incredible for someone you are known for funny, right? That is your raison d'etre. It's
yes.
French, right? It means to be like a raisin. No, that is your raison d'etre, right?
Yes.
That's all you're about.
I know, which is why we had
to be funny.
Which is why on the ticket sites, I'm not
going to be funny.
Essentially, there was a big thing that says, please note this is not a stand-up comedy show. Or even, please note this is not a comedy show sometimes. Now, the fact is, it is quite funny in between songs and stuff. I do some gags and stuff.
You do some relatively obscure songs as well, don't you? You don't just do the obvious ones.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you when you do these sort of singing shows where you're going away from the comedy, but I always think to myself, well, I want to do what I want to do.
Should we stop talking about Elvis? Do you think?
Yes, do you think? Yeah.
Do you think we should? Because you do comedy as well, don't you?
I do, yes, yeah. In fact, that's really what my main thing is at the moment, is getting ready for the Edinburgh Festival. Brand
new show?
Yes, the show is called, not sure whether this was a good idea or not, but the show is called Breeeep.
What's it called?
Breeeep.
Breeep.
Well, maybe 4 E's, I think it has.
Breeeep.
And then there's an exclamation mark. It's just a noise. I thought I'd go with a noise.
Right. Why?
Well, because that's the question I always fear. Because I thought it would just be silly. You know, I look quite silly on the poster. It's just
what are you doing on the poster?
I have. You know those sort of kind of furry antlers that you can wear.
Yes.
I have one of those, but then I have several of them, and so I've got. It looks like I have some that are coming out like a beard. They're all round my head slightly. I look.
You know, you just said, "Why is the question you fear?" or something, right? You could say that to you so many times. And when I was thinking about this, I was thinking, I want to ask him why this, why that. So, for people that don't know, I want them to go to your YouTube channel,
right?
And I want them to see, because until you see it, you won't believe it. Your Columbo recreations.
Yes.
What the hell is that about?
Well, I think, how did that first come about? I think I just did one of them, recreated a scene from Columbo, or a moment from Columbo.
You play every part.
I play every part, yeah. And again, that's the fun of it, really. Well, not only that, Rob, I've done 20, and of course, in total, there are 65 Columbo episodes. I think at the moment I'm leaving it there.
You are so singular. You are, I don't know anybody else like you. You are a remarkable one-off, aren't you?
Well, everyone's a one-off, actually, to be fair.
Let me throw some things at you.
Yes. Well, at that point, just we should cut to you chucking stuff at me.
We should do that. Maybe we will do that. That's quite funny. Right. Okay. You whipped out earlier on, to turn off, you got your phone out, and it's an old Nokia brick.
It is, yeah.
What's the deal with the phone?
There it is. Again, people, I think sometimes, I have some friends who think that, well, one friend in particular, John Archer, is occasionally, he doesn't really say it anymore, but he sort of thought I did it for effect, you know.
I don't think you do it. I don't think you do anything. I imagine it's just as who you are.
Once I've got something and I know it works and I like it, I'm not a great one for changing away from that. You know, I still live very near to where I live. And
someone told me that you go to the local library to use the internet.
Not anymore, no. Not since lockdown. I got the internet for lockdown and I got an iPad. That's why I suddenly started filming loads of things, because suddenly, and putting them on Twitter, I suddenly had this.
All right, but pre-lockdown, when you were already a very successful, fully grown adult male, right? You were going to your local library to use the internet.
Purely because I didn't use the internet that often.
Wow.
And so my agent would say, have you looked at your emails recently? In fact, he still does that a bit. Have you looked at your emails recently? Well, not for a while, no. Would you mind looking? I've sent you a couple of things that you need to have a look at. Yeah, all right, I'll have a look later. So I'm not someone who slavishly gets up in the morning and goes straight to their emails or whatever, you know.
And of course, that's a good thing, but it's curious.
And that's also the phone thing is a bit to do with that. Yeah. So when someone says get a smartphone, you'll love it, I always say, that's why I don't want to get it. I know I'll love it. You know, I'll be on it all the time.
You'd be watching Elvis stuff. You could spend forever watching Elvis stuff on YouTube.
And I'm already, even on my little Nokia, I'm like this a little bit, you know.
Oh, we've gone off the Edinburgh thing. So this is called Breeeep.
Breeeep, yeah.
Breeeep.
Yeah.
And it's an hour?
It's an hour of me doing silly stuff, yeah. Silly. One-liners, props, and silly songs, yeah.
All new.
All new. Interesting you say new, in that this was originally going to be for 2020 Edinburgh. Yeah. So I was trying lots of stuff out in that spring, and then of course we went into that lockdown, and everything stops because there's nowhere else to try out anything. So the whole project was put on hold.
Presumably you'll tour that Edinburgh show then?
Well, I haven't definitely said that yet to my promoter, but I mean, the great thing about Edinburgh is it puts you through the pain barrier of, you know, you start.
Where will you
start
play?
With half a show, but by the end of the month you've got a show. You know?
And where will you play in Edinburgh?
The Pleasance.
Nice. Yeah, lovely. Do you like that life of being up there amongst all the other comics and all the other performers?
I do, yeah. There's something nice about, I mean, when you on the circuit back in the day, you're seeing, every time, you're doing 4 or 5 gigs a night, you're probably meeting 25 comics a week.
I always think that
and that goes when you tour, doesn't it?
The Edinburgh Festival is, I always liken it to a Vegas residency because you're in the same room every night. So you get used to the acoustics, you get used to the sight lines and everything. And that, I always thought it was a bit like that. Lee Mack, most views of any interview on this channel.
Is that right?
Yes, ahead of.
Well, he doesn't do a lot of that sort of thing, does he?
He does hardly anything.
And he's not really on social media.
I
he's not
know,
really.
So there's a bit of mystery, isn't there?
There is a bit. Yeah,
it's a bit. I mean, to me, it's a mystery. He's as successful as he is. But Lee, you appeared with him in Not Going Out, or as he calls it, my sitcom.
Yes, that's right.
My sitcom, Not Going Out. I go, I know what it is. You don't have to explain it to me. How long did you do that for?
I did 5 series. The pilot was in maybe 2005, I think, possibly. Yeah, I'm not sure because it stopped for a bit and then there were 2 more. So I don't know, maybe it was 6, 7 years maybe or something.
And how did that format, traditional sitcom, suit you?
Well, I loved it because it's actually when we were in a thing called the sketch show before.
Oh, that's probably when I first met you.
Yes, maybe so, yeah.
The sketch show on ITV made by Steve Coogan's company.
That's right, yeah. And I was sure that the sort of thing I wanted to do, I wanted to be funny, you know, that's who I wanted to be, was a funny guy. Yeah. So being asked to be the straight man in some of those sketches, because we all shared out stuff a bit, and you had to be. I wasn't sure whether I would enjoy that, but actually, it turns out that was really my first experience of acting. Really, I suppose you act a bit in stand-up, but and I thought actually I really enjoy this, knowing that I could do that. Maybe Lee as well, knowing that I could do something like that, and knowing he could sort of trust me with his jokes most of the time. Meant that's how I ended up getting the Not Going Out gig, and I did enjoy it.
Right, let's finish with I'll give an Elvis quote, and then you give an Elvis quote, and we'll see who runs out first.
Okay, about from anywhere,
anything at all. That's the beauty of it. Okay. Oh, I average about 4 or 5 hours a night, I guess.
Well, no, it's not enough, but it's that's it, isn't it? It's not enough.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't mean you had to continue the quote. I mean, you could come in with any quote.
That helped me.
That's all you're going to do now is just add the extra bit. Well, maybe
so.
I think the sound has improved. The technicians have improved.
Well, those early records. I tell you.
You remember that noise? You never stood in that man's shoes or saw things for his eyes.
Elvis, shut up.
What was that?
Doesn't he do? There's a great version where he's singing. He says, "Tell someone to shut up in the audience." He's singing, which is not is the first time ever I saw your face was I don't really like his version of it because the timing, he does a weird timing of it. It should be in the original. It's the first time ever I saw your face, and he goes, the first time ever I saw your face, Elvis. Shut up. Can I jump in again? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Wayne Newton.
Okay. This is my first live appearance in 9 years. I've appeared dead, but this is my first live appearance. This is petering out, Tim.
It is a bit, isn't it? Yeah.
Thanks for doing this.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Oh.
Where are we?
Go and see the Baz Luhrmann film again.
Yes, I will.
I'd be interested to see what you thought of it on a second viewing.
Without needing a loo.
And a matinee. A man of your age, it's got to be a matinee.
You're probably right.
And is there anything you want to say to our sponsors?
Who are the sponsors?
Singer Sewing Machine.
Oh, right. Well, they have me in Stitcher.
At the top of his head. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.